Can Anthem of the Seas keep us entertained for nearly a week without seeing land? We climbed, swam, ate far too much, celebrated the ship's birthday, and eventually reached Tahiti, where our island tour went spectacularly wrong. But this wasn't the end of the adventure. In Moorea, I came face to face with sharks and stingrays in one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. Was this the best part of our Trans-Pacific cruise, or the biggest disappointment? Let's find out. I thought I'd start with one of Anthem's signature attractions, the rock climbing wall. From the deck, it didn't look that intimidating, and kids were doing it, so how hard could it be?
So he's all kitted up and ready to climb the wall of death. Let's see how he goes. Up he goes, like Spider-Man. Oh, we found a jag. What's going on?
I thought I was doing pretty well until I realised I'd climbed myself into a dead end. I had to climb back down, shuffle across the wall and start again. The views from up there were incredible, but when you're clinging on for dear life, sightseeing isn't exactly a top priority. While my legs were fine, it wasn't long before my arms began to tremble. I tried to push through, but I was fighting a losing battle and let go, falling gracefully back to the deck.
I thought you did quite well, apart from the landing. Okay. So tell me, how do you think you went?
Well, it looked like I went high, but...
You went about 3/4.
3/4? Okay, that's not too bad.
Yes.
That was the medium one.
Okay, which is the hard one, the middle?
The hard one's on that side, the easy one's in the middle, but that was in use. I'm not as fit as I used to be. I needed to soothe my aching muscles.
So we headed to the adults-only solarium, found at the front of the ship.
The solarium on Anthem is a popular space. It's not hard to see why. Featuring a panoramic glass canopy with expansive ocean views, it includes cascading lagoon-style pools, lounges, a bar and restaurant, and 4 whirlpool spas with powerful jets. And it was just what I needed.
We spent the rest of the day relaxing around the ship and doing various activities before heading off to dinner that night. Okay, I have baked potato soup. Well, it tastes like it's made from baked potato.
So what, butter and sour cream and...
Yeah, and it's got cheese as well. Like they've baked a potato and then they've mashed it up and made the soup.
Made it into a soup form.
Yeah, very nice.
So being, flavours of the United States tonight, I have gone with the Waldorf salad. I haven't had one of these in a very long time, and I don't care to say how long that has been, but a long time. Those apples have a lot of flavour, nice and crunchy. I'm just trying to find a piece of walnut. We do have some salad at the bottom. Oops.
So how is it?
It's very nice, but I think it could use a little bit more walnut. The walnut's a bit sparse, but it's really tasty.
So you have to hunt for the walnuts like we hunt for ducks.
You need more nuts in your mouth. So if I didn't know any better, I'd say you were at McDonald's.
Looks a bit like it. This is a veggie patty, which is lentil and eggplant and something else.
Interesting. Are you going to put some sauce on that and give it a try?
I am going to. All right,
I think you need a slice of cheese.
There we go. We've got tomato sauce on my burger.
Welcome to Cooking with Lee.
Yeah.
We've got a veggie burger with sauce, some lettuce, tomato and chips. That was mostly chips. So how's your burger, Lee? Now you've garnished it with chips.
It's much better with chips.
Okay, so overall, what would you rate that?
I'd say it's a pretty good veggie burger. The one that I had on Carnival was excellent. The one that I had on Princess with the patty, the
Yep.
potato patty.
But they were from the grill, not the restaurant.
Yeah, that was really yummy. This one, yeah, it's
But to be fair, I'm not a vegetarian, but I find it hard to find a decent veggie patty anyway.
yeah. No, this patty, it's not bad. You need chips with it. That's my tip to everybody out there.
And cheese.
Chips with your veggie patty.
Cheese.
Oh, cheese would be good. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Right, I've got the beef short rib. It's on a bed of mash and has beets and something red. So mash on the sauce is really good. Very good, in fact. And I'm going to see how this cuts. Going to put a bit of gravy on that, and we're going in.
And
That is so tender.
oh, good.
It's just coming apart in my mouth. That is delicious. Errol, you're missing out.
I'm excited.
I can tell. It's chocolate. What's not to be excited about?
Okay, let's have a taste.
Is it a warm chocolate brownie? But is it a good chocolate brownie?
It is a good chocolate
Very
brownie.
chocolatey.
Sorry.
Very chocolatey. What's that on top?
I'm going to explore and investigate that.
Okay. Looks like something one of the cats has done.
I think that's the fudge.
Okay.
It's very nice. It's dark chocolate, so it'd be much better if it was milk chocolate, but it's dark, but it's still yummy. But so I've spread that over the top. Yeah, that's a good chocolate brownie.
Very good. For dessert, I've gone with the apple cobbler, although some others say because it's American mode it should be apple pie. But so I'm just going to get stuck in, put some ice cream on there, dive in. It's got a nice biscuit crust to it. That's nice and warm. Let's put some ice cream on there. Yeah, that's really good. Now I'm going to be rude and do this. I'm going to smush it in. Yeah, that's yum.
The evening's headline show, Heaven's Greatest Hits, celebrated some of music's biggest legends, including Prince, Michael Jackson, Freddie Mercury, and more. The songs were masterfully performed by former Taxi Ride frontman Jason Singh and his talented band.
The show was fantastic. The music was incredible, the atmosphere was electric, and Jason delivered an outstanding performance. It was the perfect way to end another great day on Anthem. During the night, we crossed the international date line, meaning it was Sunday all over again.
We found ourselves at the Royal Promenade. It had been transformed into a market of sorts, featuring jewellery, handbags and watches, all with significant discounts.
You'll often see this on cruise ships where things are advertised as being up to 70% off. While these discounts look like incredible bargains, it's worth doing a bit of research if you can. I pulled out my phone and did a quick price check and found the exact same watch on Amazon for slightly less than the cruise ship's sale price.
That doesn't mean you can't find a bargain on board. Sometimes duty-free pricing can be very competitive, particularly on luxury brands. But it does show why it's worth doing a little research before handing over your Sea Pass card.
The lesson? Don't let a big discount sign convince you you're getting an amazing deal, and a quick online search can tell you whether it's genuinely a bargain or just clever marketing spin. Okay, so tonight's menu is a taste of the classics. Chef's recommending the Vidalia onion tart, Well, luckily, I love a tart.
Rude.
Looks like you've gone with a garden salad.
Yes, that was the only option for vegetarians on the menu. It's a very nice vinaigrette.
Okay.
So, yes, I will enjoy this.
Bon appetit.
Thank you. I see that you've got smelly bugs again on your plate.
I've got what?
Smelly bugs.
They're not bugs, they're snails. There's a difference.
How are they, Paul?
I'm sure they're great, but the secret to Escargot is it's a butter delivery system.
Oh.
It's a way of getting butter into your mouth. They're a bit on the lukewarm side, but smothered in butter, and that's what we want when we have escargots, am I right?
No, we don't want escargot. Eel.
Eel, you.
See this face? It's revulsion. That's what it is.
Yeah, like I don't see that often enough. Not impressed?
Well, if anybody's going to do it, you will. Yeah. I can't finish.
Eel.
Ooh, interesting. What have you got there?
Spaghetti.
Okay, spaghetti, but that looks like a red sauce. Okay.
It's a rich Napoli sauce.
Okay, now this was made specially for you by the crew, which is great. So
Yes.
how is it?
It's very nice. The pasta is cooked well.
Hot?
It is warm, which is always good. Happy with that.
Okay, excellent. I've gone with the New York strip steak, which comes with some melty butter, a baked potato, some broccoli, carrot, and what looks like sour cream. Let's give it a try. That's super tender, and it's got a lot of flavour. It's very well seasoned. It's a very nice piece of meat. Very happy with that. That's a very good meal. After dinner, we made our way to the Royal Esplanade for the captain's welcome party. Many passengers were dressed to impress for Dress Your Best night, and complimentary champagne was flowing freely. So I thought I'd enjoy a glass.
Yeah, try 5 glasses. Anyway, the captain and senior officers were introduced to the passengers, and the captain gave a short welcome speech before posing for photos with guests.
It was a lot of fun, and by the end of it, I was feeling a little tipsy. Unfortunately, we couldn't stay for too long as we needed to make our way to the theatre for Royal Caribbean's iconic Love and Marriage game show. We weren't brave enough to volunteer, but watching 3 couples reveal way more about their relationships than they probably intended had the entire theatre in stitches.
So what is the one thing that your husband does that drives you mad? Okay.
Probably like leaving shit stains.
Did I hear that correctly? Okay, very good. What we want to know is, what is your most annoying habit? The one thing you do that drives, yes, Brian, your most annoying habit. The one thing you do that drives your wife mad.
Doesn't that leave shit stains on the
It was hilarious, and at times I was embarrassed for them. And if you ever volunteer us for something like that,
You'll punch me in the head.
yes, and then throw you overboard.
All stays right here.
It was finally Monday.
Hooray!
After breakfast, we spent a couple of hours roaming around the ship shooting video.
We did a few onboard activities, then we went to a birthday party.
Anthem of the Seas was celebrating her 11th birthday, and the entertainments team were going all out.
There was a huge birthday cake, lots of music, and a balloon drop.
It was absolutely packed, and it genuinely felt like all 4,000 passengers had squeezed into the esplanade.
3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, happy birthday!
Unlike the captain's welcome party, there was no free champagne to be had.
That's because you drank it all.
So instead, we had cake.
And it was great.
Celebration. Here we go. You ready? Here we go.
After dinner, we wound up at the 270 Lounge for the Rock the Room game show, hosted by the wonderful Fernando.
The room was divided straight down the middle into 2 teams, and I nominated you to be captain.
Yeah, thanks for that. The object of the game is to compete in a series of tasks and to get your team to participate and be as loud as possible. It's part trivia, part dance party, and part organised chaos.
It was so much fun.
Should we show the bit with your brother-in-law?
Yeah, go on.
Come on, tequila. We need to close those blinds, get crazy, turn the lights off.
My virgin eyes are no longer virgin.
The next morning, we slipped into Papeete. The views from our balcony were impressive, if a little industrial. So I headed up on deck for a better look. After that, we made our way to the main dining room for breakfast, which was pretty good overall, and a great way to start our day in Tahiti.
With breakfast out of the way, we made our way down to the gangway and stepped ashore in Tahiti. As soon as we arrived, we were warmly welcomed by locals who greeted each of us with a beautiful tiare Tahiti flower, a lovely touch and a nice start to our day on the island.
We also paid a quick visit to the visitor centre, where there were many market stalls selling all kinds of Tahitian souvenirs. Mostly various knickknacks, including handmade jewellery, fabrics and clothing, and even traditional handmade ukuleles.
We decided on a tour. Luckily, there are a number of hawkers outside selling a variety of different island tours.
Most of the tours were priced at about $60, significantly cheaper than some of the tours available on the ship.
In the end, we decided on a full island tour that included 5 stops, as it sounded like great value.
Yeah, on paper.
We had some time to kill before the tour, so we paid a visit to the local market to try and source some cans of Pepsi Max.
Ah yes, the crack cocaine of the soft drink world.
The market had lots of local produce, various items of clothing, and a food court with lots of local specialties, but no Pepsi Max, only Coke products.
We then headed back to the port area to board our tour bus. It was a little disorganised.
A little?
Yeah, well at least it was air conditioned.
organised chaos in Tahiti in the morning. Never heard anybody did it. We were on our way, heading to the first stop at Venus Point, but it wasn't long before we noticed that our tour guide may have been filling in for someone else.
It was just weird. After about 20 minutes, we arrived at Venus Point, where we were treated to a very brief 15-minute stop.
It was very picturesque and dripped in history, all of which we had to Google thanks to our tour guide in name only.
It was here in 1769 that Captain James Cook and his crew observed the transit of Venus, an event that helped scientists better calculate the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Today, it's a peaceful spot, known for its striking black sand beach, iconic white lighthouse, and sweeping views across Matavai Bay. It's a fascinating place where history and natural beauty come together.
And it deserves a lot more than 15 minutes of our time.
We hopped back on the bus for a 30-minute ride to Faarumai Waterfalls, one of Tahiti's most picturesque natural attractions. Hidden in a lush rainforest valley, the main waterfall plunges around 80 metres down a sheer cliff into a rocky pool below.
It's an easy walk from the car park, making it accessible for most visitors. According to local legend, the 3 waterfalls in the valley represent a Tahitian tale of forbidden love, adding a touch of Polynesian folklore to an already beautiful setting.
It was a very beautiful and picturesque spot. Again, shout out to Google for the tour information.
We were back on the bus for the 1-hour drive to the water gardens of Vaipahi via McDonald's.
You all found it a bit much, didn't you?
It was a bit of a struggle.
When we finally arrived at the water gardens, we were told that we'd have a grand total of 10 minutes to explore, and once again, no site information was provided.
Thank goodness for Google.
Vaipahi Water Gardens is a tranquil oasis fed by natural freshwater springs. Winding paths lead through lush tropical gardens, past crystal clear streams, ponds, and several small waterfalls, creating one of the most peaceful spots on the island. Local tradition says the spring's waters have healing and spiritual powers, making this a place of both natural beauty and cultural significance.
After our short stop at the water gardens, we had a 30-minute drive to the Maraa Grotto, and we made up a driving game.
So we are doing a private tour, and we're just done our 3rd stop,
Yep.
where we had 10 minutes. So it's a bit slapdash and haphazard, would you say?
It is very much so.
Mormon Church.
And now we're going to the caves.
The caves.
Where I
We'll
think-
probably get, what was it,
35 seconds.
35 seconds.
And we'll be able to run off the bus and then run back onto the bus. Run off the bus. Run back onto the bus. What do you think?
The first stop was the
The waterfall.
at Venus Point, Black
Oh
Beach.
no, yes. And we had 15 minutes there.
15 minutes there. It's not a long time, but
No.
quickly took a couple of photos and a little bit of video. Then we had to race down to the triple waterfall place, which was, it was impressive.
20 minutes.
And that was probably long enough there, wasn't it?
Oh, we could have, if we had half an hour, it would have been good. But we had 20 minutes there.
And then we stopped at McDonald's, where it was
We arrived to Mataya City.
about $25 Australian for a burger, which was outrageous, ridiculous, like 15 US for
We
it.
have
I don't even know if that came with chips and a drink.
I think that when the bus rolled up, the
Science
prices
flipped
go
over
up.
into something else. Yeah, maybe.
Definitely.
That might have happened. And then we just stopped at the water gardens, and she's like, oh, we're at the water gardens now, and we've got 10 minutes.
We've got 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And the whole
You
bus
can
went.
find a city hall of Mataya City
So,
on the other side.
yes, so
So-
we've got the caves next, and like I said, I reckon we've got 35 seconds.
So it swings and roundabouts. You can pay for a tour on the ship and pay through the nose for it, or you can
The same
roll
tour
the dice.
from the ship was $170 US.
I don't think it would be the same.
No, but still, This one was $60 head.
So if you're doing a private trip, you roll in the dice. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
It's been a fun day. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah, only because we're taking the piss.
It's been quite amusing at the same time.
Yeah, and because of the company that we've got. But I think that $60 USD for this tour is a bit steep.
And
Because you've only got 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here. It's not good enough.
You make
the tour guide,
good pictures?
bless her, she's trying, but she's not real good at her job.
She's not giving us the information about the different landmarks.
There's a church.
But that's probably because she hasn't given us time to actually look at them. Do you think?
But there's a church, a Catholic church, there's an Adventist church, there's a Protestant church. We'll look at Catholic church.
There's a Mormon church.
There's a Mormon church.
Cemetery.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We saw lots of cemeteries.
Yeah, we have.
And right now, I'm kind of jealous of those people.
Don't say that. Anyway, we'll see how we go at the caves.
It's been an experience so far.
It's been an experience. Oh well, you live and learn.
We've been at sea for 5 days in a row, so it is nice to get off and stretch your legs over briefly. 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Anyway, we've got a game going with the family. We're guessing how many times between now and getting back to the boat that she mentions a church.
Or a cemetery.
Or a cemetery.
Yeah.
I've gone with 10.
I've gone with 7.
I've got 6.
5.
It's a college here.
Narelle's got
Narelle's got 8. Oh, hang on, no, this is a college that's
And
a church.
the other side, you can find the fabrication of the noni,
So far we're on 2. We're on 2 so far.
coconut plantation here. More. You have a park here.
Park. It's been just over 3 minutes since our last church. Welcome to Jurassic Park. It's now been 5 minutes since our last church sighting. It's a really impressive looking mountain.
Protestant church.
Hey, 3!
A few moments later.
The Protestant church.
That's a church.
It's a cemetery of Papeete City.
5.
Okay, 1, 2,
5.
3. 5.
5.
It's all very tense. We're on 5.
On the night.
The tour guide started singing again. Though to be fair, she was pretty good this time.
When the moon is
And we soon arrived at our penultimate 10-minute stop. The Maraa Grotto is a hidden freshwater cave surrounded by lush, tropical vegetation. Crystal clear water flows through the cave from underground springs, creating a calm, almost magical setting filled with ferns, vines and towering trees. Although visitors are not permitted to enter the cave itself, it's an easy walk from the road and offers a peaceful glimpse into one of Tahiti's unique natural attractions. Quite an impressive cave, although we don't know anything about it.
Come on, get on the bus.
You get on the bus. Off to the last stop, which is where the King of Tahiti lives. We were on our way to what our tour guide called the King's House. King's House.
Mormon church.
Hey! 6.
How many? 6.
You're out.
Errol's out. Come on, where the church is at. Okay, it's been 2 kilometres since our last church. Disappointing. Janine's currently on point with 6. We've sighted 6. One more church
We
and
arrived.
she's knocked out. Oh, we're at the King's Joint. Okay, the girls are on a mission to secure some Pepsi Max. They've had 0 luck, as Tahiti seems to be a Coca-Cola place. We found some Pepsi and cherry Pepsi, but no Max. Okay, so this is the place of the king. And I don't mean Elvis Presley, the Tahitian king. Whether or not they still have one, I do not know. There seems to be some rocks and tributes. Would you say those are tributes?
They're offerings.
Offerings to the king.
There's one that you're not allowed to touch apparently, so just don't touch any of them.
And appropriately, he's got nuts right down there. Coconuts.
It was at this point we had to rely on Mr. Google again. You go, I can't pronounce that.
We had a short 15-minute drive to Arahurahu marae, one of the best preserved ancient Polynesian ceremonial sites in Tahiti. Carefully restored in the 1950s, this sacred place was once used for religious ceremonies, community gatherings, and to honour chiefs and ancestors. On rare occasions, human sacrifices were also performed here as part of important religious rituals, reflecting the beliefs and traditions of pre-European Tahitian society. Today, the marae stands as a peaceful reminder of the island's rich cultural heritage.
It was impressive, but at the time we had no idea what we were looking at or why it was significant. Anyway, tour done. Back to the boat and the church game.
So we've just done our final stop at the King's former palace, residence, whatever you want to call it. Interesting place, but again, not much information forthcoming from the tour leader. Probably Google it when we get home and find out a bit more. Now we're heading back to the ship.
It was at this point we drove past another church.
Call it. Another church. Son of a bitch. Just past what I assume is an Anglican or a Roman Catholic church, but she didn't call it. So we're still on 6.
Mormon Church.
Yay! 7.
That's me.
Janine's knocked out. The drive back to Papeete was about 40 minutes, and it had been a very long day. And the churches and cemeteries were few and far between.
One eternity later.
We've just passed the church number 9. I need one more and I win.
We have to be close to the boat now though, surely.
Hilton Hotel. Hilton Hotel. Here.
Any sign of the boat? Yes, there she is. Okay, we're not too far now.
We ended up on 9, so no winners this time.
It was a long and very bizarre tour. Soon we were back on board the ship and had dinner at the Windjammer before spending the rest of the night just chilling in our cabin. The next morning, we awoke to one of the most spectacular views of the entire cruise. Overnight, Anthem had arrived in Moorea, and from our balcony we were greeted by towering green mountains rising straight out of crystal clear water. Before heading ashore, we booked a ride on North Star. It's always impressive, but seeing Moorea from high above the ship gave us a whole new appreciation for just how beautiful this island really is. Because Moorea doesn't have a pier for ships this size, we took one of Anthem's tender boats ashore. It was a short trip across the calm lagoon before arriving at the small waterfront. There wasn't a lot to the town itself, but there were plenty of market stalls selling local crafts, jewellery, clothing and souvenirs. It was a nice place to wander for a while. Then we came to a decision. While the others stayed ashore and explored the markets, I couldn't resist one of the island's most popular excursions. After looking at a few different operators, I booked a snorkeling tour that included swimming with blacktip reef sharks and stingrays. It sounded incredible, although I was definitely wondering if it was such a good idea once I saw the sharks swimming around the boat. Just a few minutes after departing the port, we arrived at a beautiful private beach surrounded by turquoise water and dramatic views. It was the perfect setting for what was about to be an unforgettable experience. The sharks were calm and completely uninterested in the people around them. While the stingrays glided gracefully through the shallow water, often swimming right up to me. The water was quite clear, making it easy to see everything below. It honestly felt like swimming inside a giant aquarium. It turned out to be one of the most memorable experiences I've ever had on a cruise, and something I'd happily do again.
That night we went to the Island Night Tropical Deck Party. You had all the deck party favourites, including the nutbush.
Obviously.
Throw your hands up.
You know what to do. You know what to do.
Fireball, and much more. It was such a fun night.
One out this time. Right foot, 2 stumps. 1, 2. Left foot, 2 stumps. 1, 2. Slide to the left. Left. Slide to the right. Right.
The turnout was a little disappointing.
Yeah, but those who turned up had a great time.
Join us next time for the final instalment of this Anthem series, where we cross the equator and get down and boogie at Anthem's 70s night.
We also put Jamie's Italian to the test and attend an Anzac dawn service at sea.
Before finally arriving in Honolulu.
If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing, as it really helps the channel to grow.
To catch up on the series, be sure to check our other videos linked on the screen now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you at the next sail away.